Dad,
Your father, I'm sure.
yes. Dad, you were in the Army, and you,
No, I was
You-
not in the Army. I was in the Navy,
okay,
and I was attached to the United States Marine Corps for 3 of the 4 years that I served in the Navy. I wore a Marine uniform with Navy stripes.
okay, and how old were you when you joined?
18 years old,
And you have a twin brother, right?
correct?
Your twin brother was in the Army, I got that right.
Yep, he was.
Okay, and who joined first?
I did. He joined a year later and was discharged a year earlier. So I went for 4 years, he went for 2 years.
Okay, and what was his rank and what did he do in the Army? Where did he serve?
Well, I think he was a private, and he served wherever they served, but he was in Korea. In fact, we even met in Korea.
Oh, you met in Korea.
Yes.
Well, tell me about that. Wasn't that a famous meeting? Because you're twin brothers.
Well, it was a good, I don't know how famous it was just the two of us. We met there, and it was unusual because I was with the Marines and he was with the Army, and yet we were able to meet and spend some quality time together.
Well, I think there's more of a story there. Isn't there a story where somebody was walking around in a uniform and their commanding officer thought that they were the other guy?
Well, yeah, because we always get mixed up for each other.
Let's hear that story.
So I don't really remember the story, if you want to know the truth. You'd have to ask Uncle Solly, he'll tell you.
Okay. All right, we're going to try to go over that story of what happened when you and your twin brother met in Korea. Let's see. Go ahead.
Well, I was walking after I was visiting my brother Saul. I was walking around with him, and we separated for a moment or two, and I was accosted by an officer who said, "Hey, Geringer, what the hell are you wearing that dog uniform?" I was wearing my Marine uniform, my Navy stripes. He said, "Where's your rifle? Where's your gun?" And I asked him, "Who the hell are you?" He says, "I'm your commanding officer, and if you want, I'll give you a court-martial." And just then Solly showed up, and he saw the two of us, and he was very surprised. In fact, he called the Army newspaper Stars and Stripes, and they put in a little article of that little incident, which was pretty funny.
Of how twins met in Korea.
How twins met in Korea.
Yeah, cool. Now, you said you were in a Marine unit, but you joined the Navy. How did that work?
Well, I did join the Navy, and I was assigned to the Marine Corps as a medic, and I had to go to a hospital corpsman school, which was a requirement, and I spent possibly over 1,200 hours learning different combat medical techniques, so that they sent me, after I did my internship in Bremerton, Washington for 6 months after graduating school, they sent me to the Fleet Marine Force in San Diego, and I did go to Camp Pendleton, and I took boot camp all over again. Even though I was in the Navy, I had to wear a Marine uniform since I was assigned to the Marines, but I did wear my Navy stripes. And at some point in time, the Marine Corps and unit I was assigned to Korea. This was May 1953. And we took a troop transport, which was the only sea duty I ever had, even though I was in the Navy, from San Francisco to Korea.
So you were basically a Navy medic who was assigned to a Marine unit. Now, did that Marine unit, and when you were with that unit in Korea, see any combat?
We did. From the first day we landed at Incheon, we were under enemy fire. There was a prison break, and there was a lot of pandemonium. And of course, I was part of it. And once that got squared away, I was assigned to a Marine battalion, and I worked with them and went on certain missions with them.
Now, was it like a MASH unit?
Well, it's funny that you say mass unit. There was no such thing called a mass unit. That was done on television, and that was like a hospital unit. We were a field unit, and we were in the role. We were living for several weeks before the armistice in trenches, going on patrols, and being ambushed or in combat with the enemy.
Now, while this was going on and while you were doing it, you never carried a gun, did you?
I did have a .45 pistol, but I never used it since my job was to take care of the wounded and try to help save a life.
That sounds very heroic, dude.
It was not
To
heroic.
be out there.
It was the job I had to do, and I did it.
Right. And for it, you received some medals, which we recently got a hold of.
Well,
Excuse me,
I
I should
did
say
receive-
we recently got a hold of. They were. You lost the medals, or
right, but I didn't even know what medals I was entitled to or what commendations until you asked me to get a copy of them because you would like to have it as a remembrance of whatever I did in serving my country and protecting America.
yeah. Well, you got a plaque here, or I should say, a case filled with medals. Let's see them. Maybe you could tell me what they're for. Why don't you hold it up? So this is all your accommodations for serving in
less.
Korea. Let's go over them one by one. We'll go to the
Okay.
top left. We'll start with your stripes.
This was the rank that I attained when I was discharged. It was Hospital Corpsman, second class, which is probably grade 5 pay rate and equal to a staff sergeant in the Army.
Okay.
So I did make several promotions while I was in the service.
Okay. What about
This-
the round Navy SEAL?
That is a patch that shows that I was part of the United States Navy.
Okay.
And this is a medallion showing that not only did I serve in the Navy, but that's the Marine Corps medallion that I served in the Marine Corps with honor also.
So you were considered. When
I
you
was
say what
cons-
branch were you in,
I
people.
was in the Navy, but everyone called me Doc. I was Doc to everyone.
But you were in the Navy and you were in the Marines. You got
I
to come.
was assigned to the Marines, but I wasn't.
Okay. You
The
weren't a
Marines
Marine.
considered me a Marine, although I was really a hospital corpsman.
So your unit considered you part of the unit. You were a Marine
Of
to
course,
them. Yeah.
I was the Doc among several hundred of Marines.
Okay. Let's continue on the medals. What about the one on the far left, the red, top far left?
Okay, this is the Navy Good Conduct Medal. This is the National Defense Medal.
Wait, slow down, let me get it. That's the National Defense Medal. Do you want to tell me a little about the medal? What they
Well-
mean and what it's for?
Being in the service and being in combat and being in a war zone, I was awarded a National Defense Medal,
Nice.
which means that you're defending your country. This is a Korean Service Medal with Battle Star and also a Marine Corps Battle Star, because it was only if you're in combat do you get this. It's a Marine Corps combat insignia and also a Navy combat insignia.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
No. This is the Korean Service Medal given by the Navy and Marine Corps for being in active combat in a combat zone and committing yourself to whatever combat means. This is a United Nations, since it was a United Nations action we were in, so it was a United Nations medal for the Korean service that I put in. This came 50 years later. I didn't even know I was awarded this, but it's the ROK, which is Republic of Korea War Service Medal. Republic of Korea War Service, and that's
And they
part
gave
of
it to you 50 years after.
50 years. Well,
Wow.
actually,
Who decided to give this medal?
Korea gave the medal out early in the 1960s, but the United States Armed Forces wouldn't allow anybody in the United States service to wear a foreign medal. But at some point in time, around 1990, Congress okayed this, and I had a letter authorizing me put into my personal records, and that's why I'm authorized to wear this medal now.
Wow, that's great.
50 years later.
And this one?
This one is the Korean Defense Medal, because we were defending Korea from the south and the north. We were on the 31st parallel, I believe, and we were defending both our interests and the interests of the Koreans against the Chinese and North Koreans who were invading. This is my name, my rank, United States Navy, 1951 to discharge in 1955. These bars represent what you would wear on your chest.
And each one represents one of these
And
medals.
each one of them, is the color and everything corresponds, with the exception of the top one. That's a very special medal that I received from the...
Which one is that? Point to it.
That's the one on the very top. That's by itself. And that was given from the Navy. It's a national defense given from the Navy. And I got a commendation and a letter of commendation called a Navy Unit Commendation Ribbon for the service in Korea. No, I'll answer any other questions.
We're on. You were saying in
This was given because we were under fire, and we were in a heavily war unit. We were under extreme attack from a dedicated enemy who was fanatical, but we stopped them. We stopped them cold. And because of that, this was awarded to my whole unit that I was with, myself included.
Cool.
This is a keepsake and a remembrance of my 4 years in the service.
And you would have never got this had I not push and push and push.
Never.
You've never talked about this
I've never
to
talked
me
about this
in
in
all my
53
life.
years.
I've never heard you. You've never showed me a medal. You've never done anything. You've always like shied away from the subject, but I pushed and I got that.
This is the first time in 53 years that I'm even talking about it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And that's
Thank
only
you.
because I'm doing it as a gift to you.
Thank
This
you.
is my gift to you.